So let's dive into a recap of the bank holiday weekend and what we got up to. This was such more of a lingering film. It was beautifully shot. Hey, hi, hello, and welcome back to another vlog. If you're new here, my name is Melanie Steele and I write all things cozy. My latest release is non-fiction, the Cozy Living collection that is out now, and I'm currently writing my debut cozy fantasy novel, The Linen Quartz Library, which will be out autumn 2025. So it is Friday and it is the kind of start of the bank holiday weekend here in the UK. Bank holiday Monday is the 25th of August. So essentially if you're an office worker, you've got a day off work. My husband obviously is an office worker, so we have an extra day here together. Most people here in the UK tend to go away for their summer bank holiday or, do something nice. Obviously, as I've said before, we are staying home and I'm using this time to continue my kind of summer project of decluttering, which is why we are in the kitchen. Before we get into that, a quick writing update. Act 1 is done. Yes. It took a while longer than I thought because there was a lot that I needed to shift in terms of pacing and characters and just making it feel a bit more magical. But it is now done, and next week I'm going to be getting into Act 2 and I have a call upcoming with the lovely Andrea on Wednesday, who's going to be sharing some of her feedback with me, and I've got some feedback from other people as well, so lots to be getting on with. But I'm not going to be doing any writing over the bank holiday weekend. It's the last one we get until Christmas. We have the fewest public bank holidays in Europe, so when we get them, we are taking them. So I'm just going to be getting on with other things for the next few days. It's just a chance to catch up on all the things I haven't really had a chance to get around to because I've been busy trying to write and get this book out. But a couple of days and then I'm gonna dive right back into getting those edits done. On the docket for today in terms of decluttering is my pantry. When we moved in, we saw this understairs area and it kind of has shelves and things. The people who lived here before us, who were renting before we bought this place, they had that as a kind of storage for children's toys because they had small children. Obviously we do not have children, so we decided to turn it into a sort of pantry so that we can have basically lots of back stock of things, because if you are neurodivergent, you probably don't like going shopping very much. We do not, so we prefer, especially things like cleaning, we buy them in bulk. We buy multiple ones so that we have them for a long time, so that we don't have to remember each and every week to buy things like dishwasher tablets, washing up liquid. Buy it in bulk, store it, and then we probably don't have to think about it for 6 months, possibly even a year. We also keep food in here like tins and stuff. Whilst we do have lots of cupboard space, a lot of these cupboards are very deep and you run the risk of, if you put too much in them, that it disappears into the ether and you don't actually use it, whereas the pantry is much more shallow, as you'll see in a second. And for things like tins, it's so much easier for me just to glance there than to, for example, look at the cupboards over here that are a bit too big almost for that purpose. I'm hoping that I can find a good angle for this. This is our hallway, so obviously it's not very wide, so I cannot have the camera directly behind me, but I'm going to do my best to get it so that I can actually show you what's there, so we can get a great before and after, because who doesn't love a great before and after on decluttering or tidying videos of any sort. So I'm going to stop waffling on and let's get to decluttering. Okay, so this is the space that I'm going to be working on. As you can see, there is a kind of attempt to organise it with the wicker basket, but they're all kind of overflowing, and there's just things that need to go here. For example, we really don't drink, but we often get gifted bottles of alcohol from my husband's work or well-meaning guests, and they just kind of end up living there. So those need to be sorted. And here is basically a medley of both food and cleaning products. So let's get this done. Welcome back. It is Wednesday. The bank holiday weekend is officially over. Well, I suppose it was over yesterday, but here I am doing my filming. Because I didn't really do anything work-wise on Monday, I'm kind of a day behind where I'd normally be, but that's absolutely fine. So let's dive into a recap of the bank holiday weekend and what we got up to. So on Saturday, we went into town to go and see the new film with Pedro Pascal and Chris Evans, The Materialists. We have not been to the cinema in such a long time, mostly because there's been nothing I've wanted to see that warrants the price of the cinema, but I love Pedro Pascal, and if it was a choice between The Materialists and The Fantastic Four, I was going to take The Materialists, because I love superhero films as much as anyone else, but I don't really feel a need to go see them in the cinema. But The Materialist was something different, and I wanted to see that. So off we went, but before we went into the cinema, we swung by Poundland. It's basically the British equivalent of the Dollar Tree, the Dollar General, etc. Because as I already spoke about, or at least I think I did, I had gone to the opticians and they said I need reading glasses. I have ordered the actual ones with the correct prescription, but as anyone who wears glasses knows, they take a couple of weeks to come in, and I really needed something just to cover me in the meantime. Poundland sells kind of very cheap reading glasses, just to fill in the gap, so to speak. and I got these ones for a whole £1.50. I think they're actually not too bad for the price. Obviously the prescription is not 100% accurate, but I used the little text guide thing they have to pick the one that was good enough for now, essentially. But I think they're a really nice style, like the colour, they're not just like plain black, they kind of got this purple bit going on. Still adjusting to seeing myself in these. Obviously they are reading glasses, so I don't need to wear them all the time, but it has made such a difference. When I was looking at my phone, I was amazed at how much sharper like the text is on those tiny icons, and just how bad I had let it get before I had gone to get my eyes tested. So yeah, grabbed a pair of those, went and saw the film. Such a good film. It was so refreshing to have a film where the shots lasted for more than 10 seconds. Modern filmmaking is just like this, isn't it? Bam, 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 especially things are action. Now, obviously, we always expect action films to have a faster pace, makes total sense. But this was such more of a lingering film. It was beautifully shot. The framing when either Dakota Johnson and Pedro or Dakota Johnson and Chris were talking and they were sort of directly opposite each other like this, it's not something we see very often now in modern filmmaking, and the shots just kind of lingered, and it was such a refreshing change. I thought that film was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I won't spoil the ending about who she ends up with, but to be honest, within a few minutes you're probably pretty certain that you know who it is, but I'm not going to say anyway. But would recommend watching it, either going to cinema or just waiting for it to come out on DVD or streaming or whatever it's going to do. Such a refreshing change to everything that has come out lately, shall we say, in the cinema. So what else do we do? The other bank holiday tradition is basically, if you're not going anywhere, that you stay home and do DIY or odd jobs that you have not had a chance to do if you're working full time. This basically meant I was outside washing windows, washing windowsills, washing the exterior glass porch. Not very fun, but these are jobs that need doing, or else just the outside of your house looks so grimy and so gross. But alas, it's all fresh and clean now. It didn't even take that long. It's a horrible job. I don't like it whatsoever, but it's done, and I'm not going to think about it for the rest of the year, at least. Yesterday, obviously everything was open again, and I swung by my local library because I wanted to drop off a copy of my book, The Cozy Living Collection. I had emailed the library service basically saying, please buy my book, but in a very polite manner. And they said, unfortunately, the supplier that they use to purchase books does not allow them to purchase anything self-published or independently published. I could go off into a rant here about how I absolutely hate that and that is so horrible and elitist, but I'm not going to. They did say that I could donate a copy and they would be very pleased to have it. They're big on supporting local authors, so I decided to do that. Fortunately, when I dropped it off, an actual librarian was there. Our local library is staffed pretty much entirely by volunteers, but I know they've definitely had a few issues lately with the availability, so they're having to send some actual paid staff to go in and do the job that they really ought to be doing. Again, not going to go off onto a rant on there, but I could. So I handed it to her and explained it was a donation, and she said that she would get it put into the catalogue and everything. So that's very exciting. And the person I was liaising with over email said they do sometimes do author events, not just at my local library, but at ones across the county, and that she would pass my details on to the person who organised those. So who knows what's going to come out of it. I'm just happy that there's now a copy of my book in my local library. That just brings me a little bit of joy. While I was in the library, I picked up this book, The Lonely Planet Guide to Iceland. My husband turns 40 next year, and for my 40th last year we went to Denmark because I love Denmark. I'd always wanted to go because I'm obsessed with all things cozy and hygge. That is the land of everything to do with that. We went, I loved it, can't wait to go back. Place that he's always wanted to go is Iceland. It's one of those places I feel like we don't know a lot about. I just couldn't tell you an awful lot about it. The capital, Reykjavik. There are volcanoes, there are black sand beaches, there are lagoons. That's probably about it. Which is why I picked up this book, so we could get a better idea of things that we can do and see. It's also got things like restaurants, because my other concern is that Iceland is, like Nordic countries, very much a predominantly meat diet. It makes sense given the climate and everything. And Iceland is especially fish heavy. We're vegetarians, don't eat any of that. And I am also a very picky eater. I have a lot of things I can't deal with the taste or the smell. So I was looking into things like, would there be places like a grocery supermarket or whatever where I could buy foods that I deem safe to eat. The hotel we're looking at is opposite from a Domino's, which is 100% like safe. I would eat a Domino's every day if that's all there was. And there's also like a local grocery shop where you can buy your very basic stuff. So, you know, I would be able to get something at the very least. I'm really not one for restaurants, not here, not abroad. I don't like eating out. I know some people love it and I just don't. I don't like the people, the noise. If you're a vegetarian, the menu is always like 2 choices at best, and one is gross because it involves goat's cheese, which I hate. If you're picky, restaurants are never going to be your thing at all. So I'm happy just to like buy food and just, you know, eat whatever I can get that doesn't require any cooking. But that's just me. Like, I'm sure lots of people go there and they want to eat the shark and whatnot that you can eat in Iceland, but no, thank you for me. While I was at the library, they also had a big donation of free food. It is a designated kind of it's not a food bank, absolutely not. It's a kind of place where they drop off food that's close to expiring, because they would have given food already to the food bank that had a much better date on it, and whatever's left essentially gets put out in the library, normally on a Thursday, but maybe because of the bank holiday the date changed, I don't know. I'll just put in a little clip here of everything I managed to score for free. Oh, and I also baked a very tasty sourdough loaf on the Sunday. I baked it entirely without yeast, so it was a proper sourdough and not sour faux, as I like to call the more sandwich loaf that I make that rises like so much. But yeah, here's my cute little sourdough loaf that I baked on Sunday. So that was everything that happened for the past few days. Kind of busy, I suppose, but now you are all officially caught up. Later this evening, I will be chatting with the lovely Andrea and getting some feedback on my book. I have not done any kind of edits in many, many days. I just wasn't into it. I just did not want to do anything else. Act 1 is done, and I was thinking about maybe doing some stuff on Act 2, but I just didn't want to, I'll be honest. The vibe was not there. But I'm sure after talking to Andrea, I will be much more excited and in the headspace, and that the next day I will pick it up and I'll be back into it and excited to make necessary changes. But I was kind of just in a lull of not really wanting to work on it very much. We've all been there. No matter how much you love your book, there are times when you're just not feeling it, and that's fine. That is absolutely fine. You know, I had a chance to get on and do lots of other things, but I will more than likely come back to it at least Thursday of this week. So I think that is everything that I wanted to put in this vlog for now. The next vlog will definitely have more of me actually writing and sharing how Act 2 is shaping up after I get some feedback. I've already got a list of things I know I want to not fix but make better, shall we say. So yeah, I'll be sharing how that is all coming together and how we're drawing ever closer to kind of publication. Again, it's still no set date, but definitely autumn. I definitely want this out there and published in autumn. I don't want to let it roll over into December or Christmas time. It needs to be done by then. It just needs to be out in the world, so then I can think about writing the next one. But let's stay focused on task. Let's get book 1 done first. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this vlog, I'd love for you to hit the subscribe button. I upload a vlog every Thursday, and I also do a topic video every Tuesday, sharing various things from author how-tos to what I've been reading. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.